welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing an English tutorial on how I did this makeup in detail with all my current favorite products. Yeah, right, so I'm like an in-between. I'm actually the NC42, but I went to Mexico just recently, so I kind of mix it because there's unfortunately no NC43 in the pens. But honestly, this is by far my favorite foundation. As you can see, I've used quite a lot of this already. So this is the NC42. If I have quite dry skin, yet this is still okay for me. So it is matte. So it depends. If you want like a matte finish, which I like, this is the one. And I also find this long lasting. I tend to have 15-hour days sometimes if I'm working or if I'm at a shoot. So this is exactly what I need. Like a nice solid brush. So I usually apply my moisturizer just before I'm about to do makeup, and I sort of let it sit, the moisturizer sit for about 5 to 10 minutes before I actually start with the makeup. Because if your face is too oily or too wet, the chances of your foundation oxidizing is quite high. So you kind of want to moisturize it well, but let the skin sort of absorb it. So yeah, I feel like it matches quite well. My absolute favorite concealers, the Natasha Denona, can never say the names, High Glam concealers. Now I'm using two colors, the NP10, which is basically a little bit like neutral peach. Obviously, if you were using a color corrector, you'd use your color corrector now. This kind of acts as a color corrector for me because it's got the peach, but it also has the neutral, so it works really well for me on its own. So sometimes when I don't have foundation on, I just wear this color, the NP10 on its own. And I blend this out fast. My beauty blender is just a tad bit damp. It's your choice if you want it damp or if you prefer it dry. So right now it feels like the concealer is literally the exact same color as the foundation. So I personally prefer brightening it up. So I'm taking the Y7. So it's quite yellow but bright. So if you can see, it's super bright. And I'm using this more as a highlighter. So I'm kind of going to highlight my nose a little bit as well. Some people like to highlight their chin and their forehead. Depends on your face shape. I like doing this stage, especially if I know that I'm going to do a quite heavy eye. But at this stage, it always looks a little bit crazy and you'd feel like, ooh, I went too light, but trust the process. If you like the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, this is like even better, but very, very similar, but even better. Like honestly, hands down, my favorite concealers at the moment. Okay. I never used to set. I set now just because I have slight wrinkles now as I'm aging, and which is okay, but I like to set them to kind of minimize it a little bit. I do like my Givenchy, the Prism Libra, I think it's called, in number 2. Blanc, I think it's called. But I do have it in my kit now because I prefer it for my brides now. But like, I've got these 3. Don't go and buy 3 different baking powders, but they're basically easy bake loose baking and setting powders from Huda Beauty. I've got the banana bread, I've got the cherry blossom, and I've got the pound cake. Now on their own, the pound cake is too light, this is a little bit too neutral pink, and this is way too yellow for me, so I like to mix them all. Once you kind of get it all blended onto the beauty blender, just make sure that the creases are like taken care of. So make sure you do this while it's still fairly wet and smooth, and then you basically set or bake. Yeah, so if you see the difference between the two. But I also like to do it around the folds that I get here, my smile lines. With whatever's left over, just kind of do the areas where I get a little bit sweaty. Ta-da! And I leave the rest of the face to look as glowy as it can, even though it's a matte foundation, obviously. Next up, contour. The two that I really like, if I'm honest, having tried so many cream contour sticks, is the Westman Atelier in the color Truffle, and then I also like the Chanel. This one is tan deep bronze. So tan deep bronze is like a lot browner. It's like super brown, and then this one's just a little bit lighter, if you can tell. So it really depends. If I get my foundation right, like right now, I feel like it's the exact color of my neck and everywhere else. But if I sometimes feel like some of my foundations are a little bit light, I use the darker Chanel to kind of warm it up and to kind of bring, you know, give it a little bit of warmth and color. But if it's fine, then the truffle alone is okay. And obviously I contour according to my face shape, and I would say I have more like a round oval sort of in between. So I'm trying to do anything to kind of give myself a sharper jawline, higher cheekbones, definitely sharper nose, and just a little bit on the forehead because I don't like it to look grey or too light. You can use a beauty blender as well, the rounded side, the rounded side of it. And then I use a slightly smaller brush. It's an eyeshadow brush just to do the nose. Got two. These are my two absolute favorite blushes. I do like the Dior Backstage. I do like them, but I like them in the summer a little bit more. These are a little bit deeper. So one is MAC Peaches for the peach warm tone, and the other one is actually from Laura Mercier called Rosé, and I think this is such a stunning kind of pink. I don't know if you can see it in this screen. Yeah, so it's like, this is like a pinky peach, so not too pink, so this is quite nice as well, but I'm going to use peaches today. I like this massive fluffy fan brush. This has been like my go-to, or like an angled brush is nice as well. And then I just kind of go above the contour. Okay, eyebrows, I've done microblading and so I don't really need to do anything, that's the whole point of it, but I do still fill it in because I don't like the color at the moment, because when I had them done my hair was quite black and now I went brown, so I feel like just to kind of balance it out, I use this, I love this actually, from Maybelline Express Brow in the color Deep Brown. Okay, so and it's like an ultra slim pencil. So if you've noticed, it's not too dark, it's just like a soft brown, and it's just to fill in the little gaps and just to kind of, again, give myself the color. And then I take the other side, the brush side, and I just kind of soften it out even more by pressing hard into the skin, so it just kind of looks a little bit diluted and not so drawn on. I absolutely love this tinted Hue Brow product, so I use the brush of it, and it's not like a freeze, so for people who don't like that kind of laminated look but just want something a little bit, just kind of like a brow set, just something that just softly keeps your brows in place, I like this for that. Obviously I have done the laminated look. I don't think it always looks so great with saris. It looks a little bit too much, especially if you're going to do eye makeup and lipstick and whatever. So yeah, now let's go on to eye makeup. Okay, so you're gonna need a primer. I don't mind you using any primer. I actually use the Too Faced Born This Way in Warm Beige as my primer because I like that it kind of almost color corrects my eyelids as well. And I just use a beauty blender and just kind of like clean it all up. You could have done this at the beginning, like meaning when you were doing your foundation and your concealer, but then it gets too dry and then, you know, you can't work with it really well. So try and do the stage, even if you're going to use your concealer. The reason I didn't use my Natasha Denona is because it's a little bit oil based, so it moves. It doesn't, I don't find it sets very well for eyeshadows, whereas this one, I feel like acts as a great base. Obviously there are actual eye primers that you can buy as well. I don't mind them, it's just usually they are colorless. So if you have pigmented eyelids and it bothers you and you kind of want something as a nice base, then why not get the Born This Way concealer as your primer. So right, like look how clean and stuff this looks. Now what I like to do, which is really weird, is you could use like a pressed powder, and I like the Charlotte Tilbury one, which I do use on my face. I don't have this just for my eyes, that's a bit silly, but I do use this on the face as number 2. and I'm just gonna use it to set the, can you see? It just looks a little bit smoother and cleaner. And then I'm gonna go straight onto my eyeshadow. Now I'm gonna give you something really easy, okay? And it's the Victoria Beckham, I love her stuff. The Victoria Beckham Lid Luster in Velvet. It's like an olivey green, which I think is so stunning. Okay, so I'm just gonna pick it up with my fingers. Glitter, shimmer, sort of colors, you always wanna use your fingers. Like, look how stunning this is. So I'm gonna use it straight onto the eyelid. Then I'm gonna use a clean finger to sort of blend it all out. You could just do your liner and mascara or lashes at this point, and then that would be it. Or you could make it even smokier, and I'm going to use this Victoria Beckham pencil. By the way, this is not a PR package, okay? I spent money on these and I love them. A lot of my students, when I was doing online classes, had one of these in like a different color, and they were swearing by it, and that is why I went and bought this pencil, because I was like, pencil is pencil. But this is the Satin Kajal Jewel Liner. Is it? Yeah, Smoky Quartz. It's basically like another olivey greeny sort of color. Okay, so I'm gonna literally get this product on the lower lash line. Okay, not too much because I don't want it too smoky. And then I take the other side of it, which has a smudger, and just basically smudge it out. Now, if you are somebody who finds that your products transfer and they go into the creases and it looks like panda eyes later, this might not be the right product for you. So yeah, I think this is enough. This is nice. Eyeliner. My current favorite eyeliner is this Morphe. This came in a PR package actually, and I was quite impressed with this because it is super sharp, and I like that. So I'm just going to start with my flick. Can you see like how thin it is? And I kind of wanted that. Obviously, if you're a beginner, this might not be the right yeah, I think it's looking okay. And I'm also going to extend the inside. This is like my current favorite sort of look. Like an extended liner on the inside, on the outside. Blah, blah, blah. An extended liner on the inside and the outside. Okay, and then now I'm not going to do a thick liner because then it just ruins the look again. So I'm just making the flick a little bit thicker so there's a balance. Like, do you know, can you see? It's like it's got a shape, but I'm not applying any liner on the middle of my lash line. Okay, I just curled my lashes. Now I'm going to prep. I'm going to put some false lashes on, and ideally for this kind of shape, you want it to start thin or short at the inside and then kind of elongate, so it just gives you that cat-eyed look. I'm using this Morphe mascara. It's just called Make It Big in Bold Black. Lord Jesus. Okay, I do like this. It's actually nice. For me, mascaras on my top lashes don't matter so much because I don't really ever use mascara on its own on the top because I always wear false lashes. So at this point, pick a mascara that you like if you don't want to wear false lashes, obviously. But even just like this without false lashes, this looks kind of nice, right? However, one mascara I am going to recommend you. This is the Double Wear Zero Smudge from Estee Lauder. I love this. I love the wand. And for anybody that always finds it so difficult to apply mascara on your lower lashes because it transfers, it smudges, this is the one for you. I'm going all out here because I want this eye to look very Egyptian. Right, lashes should be ready. So I just had some Duo glue on it. I'm just going to bend it a little bit so it's a little bit more flexible. And then just going to place it more towards the end of the lashes because I want that kind of cat eye winged. So what some people do is they even cut their lashes and just use a little bit on the edge, on the outside. Okay, I think I did a good job. This one looks a little bit lifted, which I prefer. So just need to push this up a bit. Now zooming out. Okay, I have this current obsession with Lisa Eldridge lipsticks. So I've got at least 10 colors, I think. And this one is the Velvet Muse, which is basically like a beigey brown. And I'm just going to use it on the middle of my lip, and then I'm going to use, you could have used a MAC Cork lip liner, which is my favorite, but I'm also, this again came in a PR box and I actually really like this. It's Sweet Tea by Morphe. Overline. So don't you think the color that I applied in the middle doesn't look as scary anymore? So any color that you want to try, especially when it comes to nude colors, try and pair it with a lip liner that's at least a shade or two darker. Okay, let me put on my... I hope you guys liked this video. I haven't done a tutorial in a long time, and I thought this could be nice for like a guest makeup, or even if it's just like a night out and you're not wearing it with a sari. But I hope you liked this video. Ooh, should have pinned this. It's hard when you're doing content yourself and you can't reach your sari blouse. But I hope you liked this video. Give it a thumbs up. Please share feedback, and until next time, bye.